the graduating cadets marched out and turned around, and then it thunderstormed. Really bad rain. Heavy rain. Everybody was running, screaming, in the stands. People running and screaming and putting up umbrellas. And my dad was very struck by all of us. All of us came out, and because we had to take off our hats. All the graduates had to take off our hats, and we stood there, and rain's pouring down your face. You want to reach up and wipe it away, but my dad was struck that nobody did that. You could actually see rain dripping off of people.
Like a statue.
Because we've been taught for 4 years.
Toy soldiers.
Well, but we've been taught for 4 years.
To obey.
The discipline that goes into not moving. It was funny because when I took my 14-year-old son, I took him to Arlington National Cemetery last year, and we were watching the ceremonial changing of the guard for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And I told my son, it's like, okay, try to do this. Notice that as you're watching the guards, and it was a hot day, they never reach up, they never touch their nose, they never even sneeze, or whatever. Try doing the same thing. Just stand still, put your hands by your side, and the entire time of this entire ceremony that they're doing, when they're just doing only their things, but try to stand still the entire time. Don't flinch, don't sneeze, your nose itches, stand still. Because it's very hard. It's very hard to do that for 10 minutes and not turn your head, not looking around.
Even for now, my experience is, you staying still is worse than running. You running, you don't get that tired. When you stand still, get tired.
Well, you do learn some tricks. You can very carefully shift your weight back and forth, between your feet. You try not to lock your knees because you might faint, because people will do that. You do try, and maybe you might be able to move your eyes, but you don't ever move your head. So there are little tricks to it, but at the same time, though, it definitely ends up being learned. Definitely ends up being learned. So.
That's what the training is. You got to start from zero. Oh, by the way, you have to walk within campus. You have to.
Oh yeah, that first year. That first year.
Turn
square corners. Square corners. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. But when I was there, we had to walk very quickly from class to class. It was called pinging. So it was supposed to be 120 paces per minute, but really, you're walking faster than that. And you're actually walking faster than that. And so when I came back home for vacation, maybe went to the mall with my parents, I was always walking very fast. They had to tell me to slow down. I was like, oh, sorry, but then I wasn't used to walking slowly anymore. So.
First, when she came back the first time, that's after Thanksgiving, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Christmas.
When she sits here,
Eat it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, eating was.
Totally different.
Oh, eating was.
And at the time she has an overcoat. It's very heavy, warm.
If you ever watch the Army-Navy game, and you'll see the cadets wear these long gray overcoats with like this cape that kind of folds back. That was what I had to wear on the way. When you're a plebe, you're not supposed to wear any civilian clothes on your way home. So that's why they keep that heavy.
And when I sent her at the airport, all the cadets just around that, the same flight. From this area, you see. It's not too many. It's around only less than 20.
Or just on that flight.
Yeah, anyway.
Why you choose what
Our first major, talk about the major.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Talk about your major.
Well, like I said, I've always been interested in history, but when I was when I was in junior high school, I was able to take a college class on political science, and I thought that was very interesting. So I decided to major, so when I was there, I ended up majoring in international relations and history.
International relations
And history.
and history.
You have a special award for the.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When I graduated, all the cadets at West Point, they have to take 1 year of military history. So it's a year-long class. And everybody has to take it, so all 1,000 of us. And whichever cadet, and there are many awards. So there are many, that's the.
They've been talking about this real
Yeah,
huge.
that's the overcoat with the cape on it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Why
wow.
did you throw that out?
就等你啦。
Wager? For wager?
Yes, yeah, that's,
Oh, yeah. Yes.
yeah, see yeah, because you put this and you button it.
Made of wool?
Yes, it's wool.
Heavy wool.
Oh, very heavy.
Thin wool. It's very heavy.
Heavy wool.
How heavy they are.
Very horse is very heavy. And it's about
你
4
今日見呢
pounds.
個？這在熱天啦 ，summer。
Oh,
Oh,
summer.
yeah,
That's another summer.
that's a formal, that's a formal
Formal.
uniform.
That's formal.
And then that is the summer one, that's what we
Yeah.
graduated in
So-
because we got rained on.
You remember she mentioned about big rain?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the next day they have graduation scene. That time was President Bush come out and you know,
And make graduation speech.
and because that whole thing is wet,
Rubber boots.
so they had to wear this
Oh,
instead.
I see.
Yeah. Which is unusual, normally we wear that other uniform with all the stripes.
真正是荒漠，跟他
Part
part
all, you know, wet
Yeah,
wool.
formal. Cái chương trình này
Oh, yeah.
in
Formal,
way
yeah.
is
Formal party
Dress mess.
Dress.
Dress mess, yeah.
the chương trình
Okay.
just so you.
I go
for women.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's for
Oh,
women.
they
Yeah,
had
the
it.
men had,
Then,
what did the men do? The men just still had the full dress, they were just wearing it anyhow.
哦，伊這個到底是到嚟家嚟，這個你感覺可能。
Sorry, oh yeah, so we're talking about
Yeah,
majors.
let's talk about your major.
Majors, yeah, so,
5% 到this start.
oh, and so the military history award. So, I finished first in my class in that particular course, history of the military art. So it's called the Mill Art, the military art award.
Military
佢會
art.
就會個
Art.
就會個
Yeah, art, ART. Because the entire year of military history is called History of the Military Art. And so I finished first in my class, and so I got the award for that. I was the first woman to win that award.
Yeah, like it will go sign. And put it near to them. Shirt. Dress shirt.
And it was good in terms of when I majored in international relations, because many years later, when I came back to teach at West Point, I taught in the Department of Social Sciences, and I taught international relations.
이것도 니가 주나?
At West Point, right?
Yes.
That year for the
When?
I taught at West Point from 2000 to 2003.
2002.
2003.
2003. Okay.
during that year, her department head gave us a very big letter saying she
Oh,
very,
never.
very
That's
well.
right. Where's the money letter?
You refused to recognize that piece of letter. I asked Mom, hold it up.
Wait. So when was this? When I was a cadet, or when
No.
I was
No,
teaching?
when you're
Teaching.
teaching.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Department head.
Okay. I think
And
they.
he said she
The
never,
best teacher
ever
there
since,
is.
ever since he's a department head there, he never seen
Such an
good
outstanding.
exactly.
Purpose.
Big letter. It's not a few sentences.
Oh,
And we keep it now because we plan to frame it as she said. Don't do that.
Did I say that?
Can we take a look? You see that could be very interesting. This is the
Maybe
head of the department, right?
Yeah, from the yellow department. Yeah. She did because every vacation we go together. She just
I
doing.
think maybe I can
No.
still find it, but I
So
don't know.
either
Last time I
pertain
put
the
something.
cadets report or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
I don't
well, in
know.
retrospect, I think it was,
Okay.
I'm very detail oriented,
Mhm.
and I did get burned out when I was there. And a lot of other instructors don't, but that's also because I felt that it was very important for me to actually put the quality of work in that I would have expected, that I expected in myself, which is really more work than people should be doing that's healthy for them. So a lot of my, my peers were saying like, so they might read through a paper, a cadet paper when they were grading, and they would just say, oh, sounds like a B. Oh, sounds like an A. Me, I would mark the things that were, I was trying to work quickly, but just wrong, doesn't have this. But it takes time to write all those things out. And so in the end, it took me a lot longer to do things like grading papers, but I felt that that was it was much easier than if a cadet came back and said, I don't understand what grade I got. Oh well, let's look at what I wrote, but I guess it's, to a certain extent, there's just a personal level of you feel that this is what I should be doing, and if I don't do it, I don't feel right. So, anyway, so it was a good thing when I left, just because I'd been working maybe too many hours than I should have.